Oh my god. Seriously? Come on, just stop. That's just a conspiracy theory. Another crazy conspiracy theory, okay? No, they aren't actually going to try to force everyone to get a digital ID. Obviously. Take off the tinfoil hat, okay?
Undermines people's faith that we're on their side and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Oh, well, so what? So what if they are? It's a good thing, okay? Why are you against digital ID exactly? It will make our lives more convenient. Yep, so it finally happened. The tinfoil hat wearers were proven right. Once again, another tick in the I told you so column. Another crazy conspiracy theory proved to be entirely correct. Keir Starmer, the man who has openly admitted that he prefers Davos.
Let us just ask you quickly, you have to choose now between Davos or Westminster.
Davos.
A man who is basically a puppet for Klaus Schwab and the WEF, has finally admitted it. What many of us knew all along. There are plans to introduce digital ID. Sky News tweeted, digital ID to be made law for all adults in the UK. You have to be careful when forming an opinion based on these words here. As you probably remember from pandemic times, there was a lot of manipulation and words were used to deceive and manipulate. Mandatory, for example, died with COVID virus, which, of course, as we remember, meant any death within 28 days of a positive test. What does this mean exactly? Digital ID to be made law for all adults in the UK. Immediately your mind would think, it is the law, I must have a digital ID. Well, maybe they want you to think that because it's suggestive, it is not explicit. The proposals are the government's latest attempt to tackle illegal immigration, with the ID serving as a form of proof of the right to live and work in the UK.
Breaking news now. Digital ID will be made law for all adults in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working.
Firstly, imagine being this person who works for Sky News and saying something so blatantly untrue. Imagine that's how you make a living. Tragic. Secondly, obviously, it isn't an attempt to tackle small boats. To tackle small boats? You think digital ID will tackle small boats? Obviously, you don't think that at all. Border control boats would tackle small boats. If the UK government wanted to stop illegal immigration, they would stop using tax money to pay for their accommodation in 4-star hotels. They would stop incentivizing illegal immigration and facilitating illegal immigration. They want illegal immigration. They want there to be a continuation of illegal immigration because they are using it as the pretext to introduce digital ID.
The benefits are clear. Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable. It will allow us to judge who has a right to be in our country and who doesn't, and so solves one of the major challenges of immigration.
It's the classic problem, reaction, solution, as David Icke has spoken about for many, many years now. Highly predictable and very easy to recognize once you understand it and once you know what it is. Problem, reaction, solution. We'll allow tens or who knows how many at this point, tens of thousands of unknown, unvetted, potentially dangerous fighting age men to enter our country illegally. We will pay for them to be put in hotels. We will give them their choice of an iPhone or a new Samsung Galaxy phone. We will pay for their meals. They will even be able to work illegally for food delivery companies. And when enough people get sick of all the illegal immigration and they can see how out of control it is, then we will offer the solution. Don't worry, here's digital ID. That will help. That will help fight illegal immigration. It's, of course, a complete lie anyway. Passports and unique national insurance numbers would suffice. They can be shown to employers. Yes, I do have the right to work in the UK. Here is my passport. It's worked very well for a long time. So, digital ID is a scam. Fighting illegal immigration is the Trojan horse presented to the public with the aim of gaining public support.
Bring in our political correspondent, Mari Aurora. Mari, what more do we know about this?
Yeah, well, Gareth, this is interesting because this is something that has been spoken about a lot. Tony Blair, for instance, has been talking about this for years and years as what he always believed was one of the best ways to try and reduce illegal immigration and the ability for people to work illegally here in the UK. But Sky News understands that we will have an announcement, could be as soon as tomorrow, from the Prime Minister on these mandatory ID cards, an ID card system, the Brit card. And essentially what this will mean, it will be mandatory for all adults here in the UK. It will make it easier for employers and for landlords to make sure that those they are employing or renting or to actually have the right legal immigration status.
Again, it won't make anything easier. How will a digital ID card be any easier than showing somebody a passport? And yeah, as she mentioned, Tony Blair has been pushing for this for a very, very, very long time, decades. And every time that there was a increase in the volume of those calls, the public responded very loudly with a collective no, not in your lifetime. Don't even think about it. We're not going to accept that for 1 second. Yeah, the man is a tyrant. Tony Blair, of course, the man who uh, is arguably a war criminal, the man who is jointly responsible for the deaths of, was it 1 million Iraqi civilians, men, women, and children? Yeah, he's not somebody that should be listened to. If he's behind it, if he's promoting it, you can bet your house on it not being a good thing for the public.
Here in the UK, they can do it using a smartphone app. It's also, according to the government, going to make it easier for people here in the UK to essentially prove their status or their ability to kind of qualify to be able to work here in the UK.
So why is it British people that are going to be made to suffer because of this? You are the ones who allowed and encouraged people to illegally enter the country. Why are you focusing on the native British public? Why should our lives change because of what you have done? Why? Not going to happen. No way.
And essentially, this is all about immigration. This is all about trying to tackle small boats crossings. We've had...
Again, that's not true at all. That's a lie. That is the Trojan horse. That is the packaging for your Orwellian nightmare that you're trying to force us all into.
A lot of conversation about small boats and about other European countries, especially the French, who have been concerned with the kind of pull factors here in the UK in terms of being able to work in the black market, being able to work illegally here in the UK.
So, with regards to working illegally, you admit that it's possible for people to work illegally. Okay. So, by producing a digital ID, you would have people prove that they can work legally, but would that stop people from working illegally? Suppose somebody wanted to hire somebody illegally. They would not ask them to provide a digital ID. Digital IDs are not going to stop anybody from working illegally. Cash in hand payments will continue. Of course, eliminating cash would be the next step. Ending cash as a legal means of making payments, ending cash altogether, and introducing CBDC, central bank digital currency, which they will program. They will program to dictate what you can purchase, how much of it you can purchase, when you can make purchases, and they will set carbon limits, individual carbon footprint trackers.
For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
I would say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill-prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that, not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
We're developing through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Because the Federal Reserve has made a mess of money and the money system. So what they want to bring in instead is central bank digital currencies. And what you can do is if all of our currency is digital and it's run by the central bank, you can program it. You could say, right, Majid, this is my second coffee today because I'm jet lagged from the travel. You've had 2 coffees today. And so next time you try and buy a coffee, that's your quota met. And you won't physically be able to buy it. Now with coffee, that sounds petty, but we know that's what they want to do with red meat. We know that they've told us they want us to eat more bugs as opposed to red meat. So if you've got a central bank digital currency that is programmable, which we also know, there's an article in the Telegraph, Rob, which you may want to bring up, but it might be behind a paywall though, but the Bank of England has told us that these central bank digital currencies will be programmable. There you go. In that article there, programming, you see it? Bank of England tells ministers to intervene on digital currency programming.
Wow.
Digital cash could be programmed to ensure it is only spent on essentials or goods which an employer or government deems to be sensible.
You
right?
can't
This is from 2021.
It'll block you from eating or doing something that they don't want, that they deem wrong.
Yeah. So in answer to your question, I do think, so this is how it's going to get harder, right?
Tom Mutton, a director at the Bank of England, said during a conference on Monday that programming could become a key feature of any central bank digital currency in which the money would be programmed to be released only when something happened.
Yeah, So I had a steak for dinner last night, right? But I had.
But if you had too much steak this week, there, Majid,
that's my point.
That's it. You can't have another one.
That's it. They can program it. You've met your quota, and this whole carbon bullshit, right? That eating this piece of steak is bad for the environment. So sorry, but you literally can't purchase that anymore because the CBDC is programmed. It recognized that yesterday Majid had one, so tonight maybe I want another steak. Can't buy one. So that's how I think it's going to get worse.
Do you know what the C40 consortium is? Yeah, well, they're a lot of fun. 40 of the biggest cities in the world. They've all signed on to this. So what's their agenda? You can't even believe this is true. 1 short-haul flight per person every 3 years. 95% reduction in private automobile ownership. No meat consumption.
I know.
No meat consumption, right? And finally, 3 items of clothing a year. That's their plan.
No.
Absolutely. 100%.
3 items of clothing?
C40. It's 3 items of clothing. How much bloody clothing do you need? The planet's at stake.
We already know that France has an ID card system. They've had it for many, many years.
Part of the nudge strategy here. Well, this country is doing it, so we should do it as well. They did the same thing with gay marriage. This country's done it. Why can't we? Why can't we? Yeah, France do have that system in place, and it has not stopped illegal immigration at all.
And it's something that the UK has always resisted, partly because of questions around civil liberties and freedoms, but also because many governments in previous times said they didn't think it was the best approach. Now, clearly, Keir Starmer has been persuaded of the benefits of a digital ID card system.
Well, I'm surprised that she actually mentioned the concerns of the public. I would have thought that she would have been given very clear instructions. Don't talk about people not wanting this. Only talk about how people want it. People are going to embrace it. People are positive and enthusiastic about it. Don't put into anybody's mind the possibility that other people may not like it, because then they may start to doubt. They may start to ask questions themselves. Focus on the positive. Everybody likes it. Everybody wants it. That's how you manipulate people. Everybody else wants it, so you should as well. And yeah, civil liberties. Correct. It is a threat to civil liberties and fundamental human rights. And regarding Keir Starmer has been persuaded of the benefits, well, that would suggest that he was against it in the first place, or at least unsure. But no, he's just a puppet. He will do what he's told. He is following the instructions that he received from Davos. He's an advocate, of course, for the Great Reset, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the complete digitalization of the world, the complete removal of all privacy, an absolute Orwellian 1984 Big Brother surveillance state. He's following his master's orders.
And has been persuaded that this might have a significant impact on small boats crossings. The question really, and this is always going to be the million-dollar question, is once this comes into play and once it is enforced, how much of an impact could it have on small boats crossings? And if it has a really significant impact on small boats crossings, and it really kind of starts to eradicate that pull factor for illegal migrants coming to the UK, because I think they can essentially make money on the side illegally, as opposed to somewhere like that in France, how much of an impact does that have? And if it doesn't have a huge impact, then of course there'll be sighs of disappointment, I think.
No, there won't be sighs of disappointment. There will be declarations of "we told you so." It was all a lie to begin with, and it has not stopped illegal immigration in France. Just to be clear about that, the French public have confirmed that repeatedly again and again. It's nothing to do with stopping small boats. The British government will continue to encourage and facilitate the illegal immigration of people from unknown parts of the world, and paying for their accommodation, giving them phones, giving them meals at the expense of the British taxpayer. Do not swallow the lie that this is motivated by a desire to stop illegal immigration. It is not.